You already have a pretty robust resume, but can you just tell me a little bit about how you got into acting and how you came to be here?
Yes. Well, I grew up, in throughout elementary school and stuff. I always loved doing the school plays, and grew up doing dance as well. But I was never really like, oh, I want to be, in movies. I want to be a movie star. I didn't even understand that concept really at that age. And I think I was about 12 or 13, and it was either a director or producer, someone contacted my dance studio and was like, oh, we need young kids as background dancers for our film. And I was like, okay, cool, be an extra on a film, like, why not, sounds fun. And I remember walking on set for the first time and just in awe of it all, and seeing, how the director worked and the actresses and the clothes and every part of it. I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the whole process, and I actually got to know the director really well, and I'd always be on set, even if I didn't have to be. And he ended up writing me into the script, and I think I had, one line maybe, but then you become SAG eligible, and...
You totally know the line, too, don't you?
Yeah, it was like, yes,
what was
Grandpa.
It?
I think it was yes, Grandpa. Yeah, it's really embarrassing, but yeah, that's what it was. And, but then from that, you become SAG eligible, which is... it's huge to get that, and so then from there I got an agent and manager, and just slowly started the process of auditioning, and oh yeah.
And how was it auditioning for this?
I was in the Dominican Republic. I'm also a kiteboarder. So I was in the Dominican Republic for about 5 months, and my agents, I think I was 17 at this time, my agents were like, you still need to be sending in audition tapes and stuff. I was doing school online at this time. It was the last semester of my senior year.
And you're a professional
yeah,
kiteboarding?
Professional kiteboarder, yeah, at the time. And so I was there. I just wanted to train, and I can't do it in LA. So I was like, okay, well, I'll send in audition tapes, so I'll still be auditioning, but at least I'll be able to train at the same time. And so, I remember getting this audition and reading the script and reading the character, and like, oh my gosh, this is just an incredible story, an incredible role. And so, I taped with my mom. We had, a little crappy camera. She read the other lines. We sent it in, and maybe 2 weeks later, I got a call that the director was meeting with 4 girls in LA. It didn't take me half a second to decide if I wanted to stay in the Dominican or go back, and I didn't even know if I had the part at this point. It was me and 3 other girls, and I was on the plane the next day, and meeting with him the following, and then 2 weeks later I was on set. It was a whirlwind.
How was it going there and standing in front of Ramin and doing whatever you had to do?
It was really insane. I had spent like I said, 5 months in the Dominican Republic, which is a very third world country, and living on the beach and just it's a very different lifestyle. And then all of a sudden, boom, back in LA, back in the audition thing. It was a bit of a culture shock, and I was just trying to take it all in, and is this actually happening? It was very overwhelming, but in a good way.
What did he make you do in the audition?
There was 3 scenes that we had, and it's funny because I went in for the first time, and I did the 3 scenes, and he was like, okay, well, I want to see you again tomorrow. So I came in the next day, and I thought it was the same 3 scenes, and he was like, when I got there the second day, he was like, oh no, we were doing the other, they didn't tell you. I'm like, no, and so he just gave me these random scenes. I had no idea, and so it was just a cold read. I was just sitting reading the lines, and then after that he was like, let's go have lunch, and I'm like, oh my god. Wait, does that mean that I'm pinching myself, is this happening, what? And then off filming. It was crazy.
And what did you do when you first found out you got the role? I mean, I'm sure you celebrated, but then was it kind of freaky?
Yes, it was, because, especially in the Dominican and before, I've been auditioning and everything, and wanting this so bad with, every part of my body, everything, and I put so much work into it, and that all of a sudden, just like that, potentially, I didn't know, my life could have changed, and it did, but did it happen? I mean, it's a phone call. if one phone call changes everything. And I definitely, a lot of screaming was involved. I can't think of a happier moment.
Did you know the other cast that was attached at that point?
I did. Yeah. Yes, I did. I actually, the first time when I was in the Dominican and I got the character description, it talks about the character, and then at the bottom it does capitalized letters to play Zac Efron's girlfriend. I'm like, okay, yes, I will be okay with making out with Zac Efron, yes.
What was the first scene you filmed with him? Because I would think it'd be, really awkward if it was that car scene.
Yeah, no,
it's like, hi, nice to meet you.
Yes, let's make out. No, the first scene that we had was actually at the NASCAR racetrack when everyone, the actual race. And so it was Dennis, Kim, Zach, and I. So it was like a nice introductions. We were all, hanging out, and it was more casual and low-key. But, it was crazy.
And how is it working with the two of them? Because you have a lot of great one-on-one scenes with both of them.
Yeah.
Did they have, different processes that you have to adjust to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's adjusting, but just, they both work in very different ways. I think, especially for Dennis, Henry's character is very different from who he is. And so for me, being able to watch him transform in front of my eyes into this other person, his body and his posture and how he walks, was just incredible. Oh man, it was an honor to work with, both of them.
And how about working with Ramin? What kind of actor's director is he?
Ramin and I, he's used to working with the non-actors, and I think that would be me in this situation. It's more new for him to be working with Dennis and Zach, and for me, I think we kind of had this bond from the beginning because we're both, we're starting out in this crazy industry, and we just we connected and we got each other, and especially working on this role with him, he's a very hands-on director, and he has a vision and knows exactly what he wants, and I loved it. He would never call action, he would never call cut. It was just, when you're ready, go ahead, and okay, thank you. And that was it. It was perfect. I loved it.
And was he giving you notes in between, or did he let you run with it?
Yeah. No, he would give notes, but it was very, he'd be like, okay, Maika, come over here. And he would just, come very calm, okay, I want you to do, less here. I want this. And just very subtle little things, and it would make a world of difference. And
how about the material itself? Because, in the movie, your character learns, everything about corn seeds in, a couple minutes.
Yeah, and just like that.
Did you have to, know that yourself and study?
Yes. Ramin had us watch, a bunch of movies and kind of look into all this, and that's what's so awesome about this job is I would never in a million years look this stuff up or have any interest in it. I would never go to DeKalb, Illinois. But you get to go to these places, and it became beautiful to me. And I think the film captures it in such a weird but unique, beautiful way, and I love that.
How do you feel about, just you personally, how do you feel about, where these characters end up? Because it really starts as one thing and ends completely different.
Yeah, it's I love the ending because it's so uncomfortable and bizarre, but the film it's it examines this whole American dream and this what lies underneath it, and it's told in such an amazing way because it's so true. There's so many lies hidden in so many things underneath the rug, and it is an uncomfortable thing.
Did you ever think about what your character might have gone through after the movie ended? Because, I wondered, because, she exits kind of abruptly, and I wanted to see her live happily ever after.
Yeah. You know what, I did, and I don't want to, I have my own vision, but I don't like telling people, because I like people having their own, they have their own, vision of what happens to her, and I like, because the ending of the film was quite open, and you don't know what happens, and it's to make your own decision, I guess.
And one of your first big movies, you took something home from set, right?
Yes. Yep. There was actually a few things because they didn't.
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, you have to, right? I'm trying to think. We had there was this one shirt, the American flag shirt, that I wore in one of the scenes that they gave me, and the moon earrings they gave me, and it's I think I still have all those things kept safe.
What about the hat?
Yes,
I was thinking that would go.
Yep. Oh yeah, still have that. Mm-hmm. You got to. I mean, it's a special moment. I think. You know, it's I don't know.
And can you tell me a little bit about what happens from here for you? Because Bling Ring and Labor Day?
Yeah.
Where did those fall into this schedule?
Bling Ring came almost right after At Any Price. It's a smaller role.
Who do you play in that?
It's just like this stoner surfer girl. It's not anything.
Surfer, that's appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing exciting at all. But
have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't yet.
I'm very curious.
I'm very curious as well. I can't wait to see it.
Have you seen Spring Breakers?
I haven't yet.
All the Bling Ring trailer makes me think of, besides the fact that that's a true story, and Spring Breakers is definitely
not a true story. Let's hope not. And then Labor Day came. That would have been maybe 2 months after Bling Ring finished filming. Yeah, that's an interesting role.
What's that one?
I play the like love interest. Is this really crazy love affair that I have with the young Josh Brolin. Tom Lipinski plays the young Josh Brolin, and yeah, this girl is my polar opposite. If there was anyone to be my polar opposite, it'd be this girl. And, you know, with Ramin's film, you know, I took pieces of me. You know, a lot's different with Cadence and me, but there are pieces of me in her. So I was able to use that. But this girl in Labor Day, there's not an ounce of Maika in her. So it was very fun to create, and work with, obviously, Jason Reitman is like a dream for me.
Can you liken her to any characters from his previous films?
I don't think so.
Or maybe even like the tone of that film.
It's quite different. Labor Day, I think it's very different from anything that he's done. It takes place, my part takes place in the 60s, and I don't know if we've seen him do a period piece. You know, he's working with Kate Winslet and Josh Brolin, much more serious actors. Well, I guess, you know, George Clooney, but it's a very different vibe, I think, and so it will be very interesting to see.
You've worked with quite the string of directors there.
Yes, I still can't believe it. Even when I'm talking about it, then I stop and think like, wow, did that happen? That's crazy.
Between those three, is there anything that you picked up from someone that like you'll take with you through your career?
I mean, for me, what's really nice is, at least with working with Ramin and At Any Price, I think he's now been with me throughout Bling Ring, you know, working. I mean, I remember when I was up for Jason Reitman's film, he was emailing Jason like, this girl's amazing, you have to. And I mean, Ramin, especially in this industry, you can get knocked down very easily. And Ramin has been kind of the person that throughout it all has believed in me and has always been there. And when I'm like, Ramin, what am I doing? Why am I in this industry? He's like, he's there. And so it kind of helps me having that support. And I don't know, I freaking love Ramin.
And now moving forward for you, is there like anything in particular you really want to do one day? A character you want to play, a person you want to work with, anything?
I mean, there's tons of people that I've had to work with, and I hope I get to. For me, roles-wise, I'm really drawn to like the darker, more twisted, weird roles, I think, because it's so different from my own life. And you know, working on something and bringing, you know, this person to life is quite fascinating, and I like the challenge. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.